Mozambique, a country located in Southeast Africa, was familiar with natural disasters from droughts to floods. What they did not know was that heavy rainfall in February 2000 would come and stay for not 1, not 2, but 5 weeks. But wait, there's more. During this long period of rainfall, Mozambique and surrounding countries were hit by a catastrophic cyclone, Aline. A cyclone is a system of winds rotating inward to an area of low atmospheric pressure. Mozambique is located in the southern hemisphere, which tells us that the cyclone was moving in a clockwise direction. With many rivers and mainly low land, this area was set up to not take impacts of flooding too well. With increasing rainfall and winds, over 1,400 square kilometers of farmland were not able to survive the 160 mile per hour winds and rainfall. The frequency of flooding in Mozambique continues to increase. Mozambique used to not experience heavy rainfall prior to 1995, but after 1995, the amount of rainfall began to increase, resulting in the frequent flooding Mozambique now experiences. The lack of rain prior to 1995 was also why Mozambique was not prepared to handle flooding. The mean temperature of Mozambique has slightly increased since 1960. As the climate changes, chances of flooding and extreme rainfall will continue to increase.
The Mozambique flood of 2000 brought tragedy in its wake. Over 1 million people lost their homes in the Mozambique flooding, along with suffering large economic losses due to over 100,000 hectare-acres of crops being destroyed and cattle drowning in the large amount of water. The greatest tragedy of all was that 700 people lost their lives in this flood. With the flood washing away many people's homes and their way of life, the people of Mozambique became dependent on relief organizations to provide them rescue, food, water, and shelter. The low-lying valleys where most of the farming areas were located took the longest to drain post-flood, which derailed many farmers from growing food again and leaving the communities dependent on outside sources for food. Diseases ran rampant. Stagnant water as a result of the flooding caused an increase in the mosquito population, which led to the spread of malaria. Many water supplies were contaminated due to the flooding, causing an uprising in cholera cases. Roads, bridges, houses, and schools were all swept away in the flooding. The destruction of infrastructure made it difficult for many of the people stranded in the flooding to flee. The people of Mozambique didn't come back to much, leaving them to put their lives back together from scratch.
So, did the people of Mozambique plan for regular flooding? Well, since the area did not normally see such heavy annual rainfall, there was no need for them to prepare for such an event as this. The small dams they did have were easily destroyed. Low-lying suburbs saw weather-worn streets and thousands of people abandon their homes since they were underwater. Long after the floods, people still had to dwell in tents and reed houses in areas of high elevation. Presently, the NAPA, or National Adaptation Program of Action of Mozambique, now proposes projects that will broaden the capacity of farmers to handle such adverse effects of climate change like these floods and the management of water resources. The National Meteorology Institute on New Early Warning Systems and Warning of Tropical Cyclones also aims to reduce the negative effect of cyclone events by spreading relevant information through educational campaigns, media, and publications.
When the sun shines